So what's up, guys? We back. It's RC talks all things basketball, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the Utah Jazz. Um, got a segment for you guys as always. We doing a Jazz overview. We're gonna talk about a season. We're gonna recap it. We're gonna discuss the roster. We're just gonna talk about the future outlook for the Utah Jazz. So last season, the Jazz finished 37-45. It could be considered modest of a record, or you could say that they just underperformed, or you can say that they had a really surprising season, even though they finished 8 games under 500. At one point, Utah was having a fabulous season, and then they lost their way a little bit, and then they just kind of middle of the pack it the rest of the way. But one thing is for sure, this team has some definite talent. You definitely know that with Lauri Markannen at age 26, you know that you have a high quality scorer. You know that you have a guy who has really developed and has really proven to be worth his salt. And you know that going forward, you can believe in this guy as he made the All-Star team last season. Just a really great shot maker. He's really versatile for a forward. So going forward, if they decide to build around Lauri Markkinen, you can't even question that because he has set himself apart this season. So that's one guy that you just don't have to worry about, and you can count on him to really just provide for your team offensively. And also, Utah acquires John Collins recently in the trade. They got the 25-year-old power forward, small forward, like a tweener. He could possibly play five in a smaller lineup. John Collins is a pretty good floor stretcher, not great. He's good. He's a stellar piece. You can't go wrong. They do take on a big contract with him, but ultimately maybe they'll be able to move him down the line if it does not work out successfully. But for now, I think it's a good addition to add to Coach Will Hardy's roster. And also, Will Hardy has proven himself to be every bit worth his salt as well. So you have a good coach in place. And then you talk about like Jordan Clarkson. Very dependable, versatile guard. I feel that he can play the one and the two. Now at age 31, possibly you'd have liked to have seen him go to a championship contender, but he provides backcourt stability for this Utah team, and it's going to be interesting to see if they could take that next step because one of the things I noticed with the Utah Jazz is that they just didn't have enough to just stay consistent the whole season long and didn't have the experience all season long to kind of keep themselves in playoff contention as they kind of backslid their way out of the top 8 and even slid out of the play in. Looks like OKC towards the end just showed a little bit more potential. And I do think that one thing Utah needs to do is, with all the length that they have to figure out who's going to be the key guys because they also picked up rookie Taylor Hendricks in the draft out of UCF. And I don't know if he's going to play much, but he looks like a promising kid. Then you got Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler proved that he's prepared, ready to take on the role of center, ready to just, stretch the floor, ready to do the dirty work, ready to just grab boards. Walker Kessler is a real player. They got a good piece in Walker. So you just have to figure out who's going to play because you have all these tall guys, Kelly Olynyk, Micah Potter. You got all of these big guys on your team. So, and then, of course, you got John Collins, as I just said. So you're going to have to figure out, what are you going to do in that front court? And is it going to come together soon enough for this team to have a successful season? Then, we're going to get to see Johnny Juzang. He's healthy, so we're going to see if he's able to get minutes in the backcourt. He's coming out of UCLA. This should be his second year. We'll see what happens. And then I can't forget about Colin Sexton, he really provides you a great scoring punch, either in the starting lineup or off the bench. I just wonder with Colin Sexton, he's a little bit on the small side, but he definitely can get you numbers. But this team, it does need, some length at the guard spot. And I guess you kind of get that from Johnny Zuzang, and Taylor Horton Tucker. But we're just gonna have to see in terms of versatility and length coming out of the backcourt. Um, Jordan Clarkson is 6'5", so you got able defenders. So we'll just have to see how they play, defensively on that side of the ball as we move, into the next season. Another highlight for the Utah Jazz. Um, Rookie guard out of Baylor, Keontae George, has looked really, really he's looked brilliant for the Utah Jazz. He has really shined, and I want to see if it translates to the NBA season. It looks like it might. We'll just have to see. But ultimately, the Utah Jazz, I don't see them as a playoff team. But oddly enough, I do see this team as a team that could go and maybe do the 41-41 split. I think they still good enough to get like 41 games, but I don't see it out west. They need more, and unless Markkanen and Clarkson take another leap in terms of superstardom. I'm talking about Markkanen. I see Jordan Clarkson as a very solid, stellar piece, but I don't. I don't see superstar. Also, this team has Chris Dunn. I wonder about Chris Dunn. He seems to have played himself back into, making NBA rosters. But we'll see if there's any real catch to that. And so, I just look forward to the Utah team building, watching the young players, build something, watching Juzang, Keontae George, just seeing what the future might possibly hold for this team. If nothing else, we will find out as the season goes just how much of a player Utah can or can't be out in the Western Conference. Everybody thought when they got off to a blazing hot start last season, they might be on to something, but the season's 82 games long, and there's no guarantees that you won't drop off. And unfortunately, they did. But until the Jazz can get some more help around marketing, I just don't know, because they do have help. Let me state this and let me be clear. They do have nice players, stellar players, solid players. But this is a team I feel is building for the future. So it's going to just be interesting because you do have players approaching 30, and on the other side of 30, you don't have anybody too really, like too old. But this is a team that I see building towards the future. I see it being led by Keontae George, Walker Kessler, Taylor Hendricks, if they all continue to hit on these young guys, other players. But at some point, if they did want to trade Clarkson or Markkanen for pieces or picks, young players, I think they'll get great market value. So going forward, Utah Jazz should be an interesting, fun team to watch. This was my Utah Jazz segment. This is RC Talks All Basketball. I'm glad to have you here with me. We don't do anything terribly fancy over here. We just talk ball. That's it. We talk basketball, and we do it because we love it and we appreciate the sport, and that's what we do. So take a second to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned. I got more team reviews coming. I appreciate all you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Peace.